Welcome you to all. In previous lecture, we have studied Taussend's theory, Paschen law, breakdown occurred in liquid dielectric material. In that, we have covered four mechanisms. First, suspended particles theory. Second, cavitation and bubble theory. Third, electroconvention breakdown and electronics breakdown. Now we are going to see solid dielectric. It is mainly used in cables electrical circuit. It provides insulation. There are some example of solid dielectric material like mica, paper, PVC. The full form of PVC is polyvinyl chloride and VIR, that is vulcanized Indian rubber, where mica and paper both materials are used in manufacturing of capacitor or condenser, whereas PVC and VIR rubber is used for manufacturing of cables. Next point is desirable properties of solid dielectric material. First property is it must have high mechanical strength. Second property is it should have high dielectric strength, means the solid dielectric material should be capable to holding high voltage. Third property is free from moisture content. Fourth property is low dielectric loss, that is dielectric loss means electromagnetic energy converted into heat energy, that is a tan del is minimum. Next property is high chemical and thermal resistance, and last property is free from gaseous inclusion, that is it should not reacted with gases. These are some properties of solid dielectric material. Next point is breakdown occurred in solid dielectric material. First point is electromechanical breakdown. So there are two main reasons. First reason is solid dielectric materials are subjected to high electrical field. First reason is solid dielectric materials are subjected to high electrical field, and second reason is electrostatic compressive force exceeds than mechanical compressive strength of given solid dielectric material. Now we are going to see when high voltage applied over solid dielectric material, the material is getting compressed, where D0 is initial thickness of solid dielectric material, V is the high voltage, and D is the thickness of solid dielectric material, after high voltage applied. Now we will see second case, that is electrostatic compressive force exceeds than mechanical compressive force. So this is the formula of electrostatic compressive force, where epsilon 0 is the absolute permittivity, epsilon r is the relative permittivity, V square is the applied voltage, and D is the thickness of solid dielectric material after applying the high voltage. Second point is mechanical compressive force. It is given by Y ln D0 divided by D, where Y is the Young modulus and D0 is the initial thickness of solid dielectric material and d is the thickness of solid dielectric material after applying the high voltage. Now what will happen? Now we are going to see maximum value of electrical compressive force. Now we are going to find out maximum value of electrostatic compressive force. In previous slide we have seen that when electrostatic compressive force exceeds than mechanical compressive force, breakdown occurred in solid dielectric material. So electrostatic compressive force is given by epsilon 0 epsilon r v square divided by 2d square, and mechanical compressive force is given by y ln d naught divided by d. This is the electrostatic compressive force and mechanical compressive force. Epsilon 0 is the absolute permittivity, epsilon r is the relative permittivity, v is the applied voltage, d is the thickness of solid dielectric material after applying the high voltage, y is the Young modulus, and d naught is the thickness of solid dielectric material, that is initial thickness of solid dielectric material. Now we are going to equate these two equations. After simplifying this equation, we are going to find out the value of v square. After we get v square is equal to d square into bracket 2y divided by epsilon 0 multiplied by epsilon r ln d naught divided by d. After we are going to find out the equation for v. For the finding out the equation for v, we take the square root of this equation. After we get v is equal to the square root of d square is d, and the square root of 2y divided by epsilon 0 epsilon r is, firstly I will take square root. Now we get y divided by epsilon 0 epsilon r raised to 1 by 2, and remaining term present, that is ln d naught divided by d. After applying the high voltage, mechanical instability will develop in solid dielectric material. At the time of mechanical instability occurs, ratio between d divided by d naught is equal to 0.6. Make it correction here. D divided by d naught is equal to 0.6, and d naught divided by d is equal to 1.67. Now apply this value in previous equation, that is apply the value in this equation. Now we get v is equal to d multiplied by root 2 multiplied by y divided by epsilon 0 epsilon r raised to 1 by 2 multiplied by 0.6. The formula of maximum electrostatic compressive force is given by Emax is equal to V divided by D naught. In previous equation we get the value of V. Put the value of V in this equation. We get Emax is equal to D multiplied by root 2 multiplied by Y divided by epsilon 0 epsilon R raised to 1 by 2 multiplied by 0.6 divided by D naught. Here D divided by D naught is 0.6, take 0.6 as a common. Now we get 0.6 multiplied by y divided by epsilon 0 epsilon r raised to 1 by 2. So this much value of stress required for breakdown in solid dielectric material. Next point is the thermal breakdown in solid dielectric material. Most of the insulation failure occur in high voltage apparatus due to the thermal breakdown. Whenever high voltage applied on solid dielectric material, it creates electrical field in dielectric material. Result, small amount of current start flowing through the material. It creates temperature rise in solid dielectric material. Result, breakdown occur. Consider a solid dielectric material. This is the solid dielectric material. Under the presence of high voltage DC supply, it creates temperature rise in the solid dielectric material and breakdown occur. The temperature rise under the presence of DC supply is given by WDC is equal to E square multiplied by sigma, where E is the magnitude of electrical field, sigma is the conductivity, and WDC is the amount of heat generated in solid dielectric material under the presence of DC voltage. Consider case 2. In case 2, consider a solid dielectric material under the presence of high voltage AC supply. Same thing will happen here. Under the presence of AC voltage, current start flowing through the solid dielectric material and temperature rise will take place after breakdown occurred in the solid dielectric material. Heat generated under the presence of AC voltage is given by E square F epsilon r multiplied by tan del divided by 1.8 multiplied by 10 raised to 12. Here E is the electrical field, F is the supply frequency, tan del is the loss angle or dielectric loss, epsilon r is the relative permittivity of given solid dielectric material. Now WAC and WDC, these are the heat generated in dielectric material. Now we are going to see amount of heat is getting transferred from given dielectric material is given by WT is equal to CV multiplied by dt divided by dt plus divergence of K multiplied by gradient of dt. Here CV is the specific heat of dielectric material, dt divided by dt is the temperature gradient, K is the thermal conductivity, and WT is how much amount of heat transferred in solid dielectric material. Now we will see one condition, that is when WDC or WAC is greater than WT, this condition is satisfied at the time of breakdown. Means whenever heat generated under the presence of AC or DC voltage is greater than heat transferred in solid dielectric material, at this condition breakdown occurred in the solid dielectric material. Second condition is when WDC or WAC equal to WT. At this condition, this is the equilibrium condition, nothing will happen to solid dielectric material or no breakdown occurred in the solid dielectric material. Means heat generated under the presence of AC or DC voltage equal to the heat transferred in solid dielectric material. At this condition, no breakdown occurred. Next phenomena is treeing and tracking of solid dielectric material. This phenomena occur due to the moisture content or water content in solid dielectric material. Due to the moisture content, formation of conductive path develop inside solid dielectric material. It looks like tree of several branches. The given figure shows that the tree with the several branches, that is the treeing and tracking of solid dielectric material. To remove treeing and tracking phenomena, firstly we will do clean solid dielectric material. Second thing is keep dry solid dielectric material. Third, use of moisture repellent grease on solid dielectric material. Next phenomena is internal discharge in solid dielectric material. The main reasons for internal discharge is presence of voids and cavity inside solid dielectric material. Consider a solid dielectric material. Inside solid dielectric material, cavity or voids is present. This is the voids and this is the solid dielectric material. Permittivity of solid dielectric material is given by epsilon 1 and permittivity of voids is given by epsilon 2. In this case, the permittivity of solid dielectric material is greater than voids. That is, epsilon 1 is greater than epsilon 2. Whenever high voltage applied, the electrical stress will moving towards voids. Result, a property of solid dielectric material becomes spoiled and material become conductive and breakdown occur inside solid dielectric material. Next point is insulation resistance measurement. Insulation resistance is defined as it is the ratio of applied direct voltage across insulation to the corresponding current flowing through it. Measurement of the insulation is the important parameter. Normally, insulation resistance measurement done at a certain time after voltage is applied. The standard duration is 1 minute or 10 minutes. Insulation material is defined as it is the opposition to the flow of current. In insulating material, valence electrons are tightly bonded together their atom. A material like PVC, write down, a material like PVC, glass, varnish, paper, Teflon and rubber are the good insulating material. Insulating materials is used as a protecting cover on electrical wire and cables. When DC voltage applied to insulation, the current start flowing through the insulation. This current has two main components. First component is current flowing through leakage path over the surface of solid insulator. This leakage path is formed due to moisture and dust content, which is normally accumulated on surface of solid insulating material. And second component is current flowing through the volume of insulator body. Next point is methods of insulation resistance measurement. There are several methods. First method is direct indicating ohm meter with a hand driven DC generator. It is also known as a hand driven measure. Second method is direct indicating ohm meter with the motor driven DC generator. Third method is direct indicating ohm meter with the self contained battery. Fourth method is direct indicating ohm meter with the self contained rectifier. And last method is resistance bridge circuit with self contained galvanometer and battery. When insulation resistance measured with the help of DC supply, in that case we take voltage and current reading with the help of DC voltmeter and DC ammeter. In that case, insulation resistance is measured by ratio of voltage divided by current. Voltage is the voltage applied across insulation, and current I is the corresponding current flowing through it. When we use indicating instruments like measure and ohm meter, in that case probe or leads of the instruments, it is directly connected across insulation. After driving the instrument, the value of insulation resistance is indicated on dial of instrument. In both cases, the methods of insulation resistance is measured at standard time delay to get accurate and error free reading. Next point is insulating material for electrical device. Insulating material is defined as it is the opposition to the flow of current is known as an insulating material. In insulating material, the valence electrons are tightly bonded together their atom. Next point is applications of insulating material. First application is cables and transmission line. Insulating material is generally used as a protective coating on electrical conductor and cable. Cable core which is touch each other, and it should be separated and insulated with the help of insulating coating provided on each core. Insulating materials are used in cables are polyethylene, cross-linked polyethylene, polyvinyl chloride, that is a PVC, Teflon and silicone. Bushing is also used in transmission line. It is used in high voltage transmission lines. They are supported by electrical poles. Bushing are made from glass, porcelain or composite polymer material. Next application is electronic system. All electronics appliances and instruments are widely used PCB, that is printed circuit board. Printed circuit boards are manufactured with the epoxy plastic and fiberglass. All electronics components are fixed on insulated PCB board. Next application is power system. Transformer oil is used as a insulator to prevent arcing in transformers, stabilizer, circuit breaker, etc. Insulating oil can withstand insulating properties up to specific electrical breakdown voltage. In case of transformer, transformer oil is used as an insulation, and it is also used as a cooling purpose in transformer. Next application is electrical cable insulating tape. PVC tapes are widely used to insulate electrical wires and other live conductive part. It is made up with the vinyl. It provides effective and long lasting insulation. Last application is electrical rubber mat. It is also known as a electrical insulating mat. Insulating mat for electrical purpose have wide applications in various substations and power plants. The mats are used for floor covering below control panel for safety of working man due to any possible leakage of current. These are the applications of insulating material. In this lecture, we have covered solid dielectric material and its desirable properties. Breakdown in solid dielectric material. In that, we have seen four different mechanisms. First, electromechanical breakdown. Next, equation for electrostatic force. Next, thermal breakdown. Next, treeing and tracking of solid dielectric material. Next, internal discharge in solid dielectric material. After, we have seen insulation resistance measurement, methods of insulation resistance measurement. Next, insulating material for electrical devices and applications of insulating materials. So this is the end of second unit. In next lecture, we will start unit number 3. If anybody is having doubt, please comment below. So I will be covered your doubts in next lecture. Thank you.